Hi, welcome to the first module as we practice how to complete projects. Okay, our first skill that we're going to practice is reading directions. As always, remember, this focus is on the study skills. It's how we learn, how we process information and remember it better. When we work through these projects, it's okay if you don't know the academic knowledge behind what we're talking about. You may not know all the vocabulary words, you may not know the content, and that's okay because the focus is on what tips we can use, what techniques to learn any sort of information better. Okay? So, for what we're going to do in this module, we're going to practice reading all project directions twice, writing down all questions we still have, asking classmates for help, and then asking the teacher for help. And we do it in this order. Okay, we're not going to ask teacher for help before we read all the project directions twice. So as we work through these modules, I will be demonstrating using a project that is similar but yet not identical to the one that you're using. So first we need to do is read all project directions twice. So here are my project directions. Keep in mind that if you need a screen reading for you, you can use that as well, where it'll play and I'll read it out loud to you. However, I'm going to practice, and don't worry, I'm not going to read the whole thing out loud to you, but I'm just showing you that yes, I would read this twice. So for my geologic timescale project, you will work for an advertising agency and you have just won a contract with a very unusual client. You are working for a travel agency that offers time travel. So the task. Your job is to develop a commercial showing people what their vacation destination will entail. You will be assigned a geologic time. You may present your commercial in any fashion, PowerPoint, emails, brochure, etc. You will complete the following. Choose one of the geological time periods and then tell your teacher which one you have chosen for the project. Research your selected time period, recording information about the Earth's surface, landforms. You get the idea. So I would go through and I would read all of that. Keep in mind, I'm going to read all of this. Your presentation must include basic information. I'm reading all of this, all of this, all of this. And then hopefully, if we're lucky, there may even be a rubric, or it gives us guidelines so we know how our project is going to be scored. This is important to read too, so you know how you're going to be graded. So I'd read through all of this. Okay. I'd read through all of it. Now at this point, maybe I'd have an idea of some questions I may have, but just in case, I'm going to go back. I'm going to read it the whole thing again, not skipping around, but like we've practiced in close reading, we're going to read the whole thing again. So after I've read everything, if I have questions, I'm going to write them down. And for this project, when you do it, even if you don't have any questions, practice. Okay, so you can type them, and for this project you will, or you could write them down. But let's say I had some questions for this, like one is part of my direction, say I will be assigned a geologic time, but then the other says I have to pick one and tell my teacher. Well, which is it? Okay, I didn't see a due date. Then some other questions I may have is, how many pictures do I need to have? Like, how am I presenting this commercial? Okay, so you want to be able to note what questions you have, not just like, oh, I don't think I understand everything. Write it down. Physically, either write it down or type it. Okay? So for this, we are going to, before you start asking a teacher for help, you need to ask your classmates, right? We're going to be using a online tool called Padlet that you can post and ask classmates for help, and also hopefully answer some questions you may have, or they may have. Okay? So for this one, we're going to pretend that Sally Smith is in my class. She is posted as well. She's saying, when is this due? Well, I don't know. Sally, I also don't. And we're going to make sure that that is grammatically correct. Okay. So I've said, Sally, I don't know when this is due. Okay, but let's say I know this one. Do I include information on climate? Well, actually, yeah. It says, when I read it, I remember this, that I have to answer what the climate was like. So I can do that. I can say, Sally, do you have to include info on climate? And so then now I could ask my questions like, does the teacher assign us a time period? And how many pictures do we need? So then I can post these, and then hopefully my classmates will come in and they may be able to say, like, oh, I do know this answer, or I know that one, or they can have theirs. And it's good to come back and check because your classmates can help you answer questions. It may not all be asking the teacher. But let's say that you have read your directions twice, you have written down all the questions, you have asked your classmates, and they still don't know the answer. So then we're going to get to, now is the time, finally, that you ask a teacher for help. So there have been some tutorials that you did in the very first Getting to Know Canvas module, where it showed where you go to your inbox on the side, and that's when you send a message to your teacher asking your questions. Okay? However, if you haven't read it twice, written down your questions, and asked your peers, do not immediately go to emailing your teacher. Okay? So your next steps are you are going to go to your assignments and you will have your own project directions that you need to read twice, and then you continue to work on those assignments where you're going to write down your own questions and submit them. You're going to ask questions of your peers on Padlet, and then you will email the teacher. Even if you somehow do not have any questions, just pretend so we can practice these steps. All right, great, thanks.